Hey, it's Marauder again. So I just got off work about 30 minutes ago, and I didn't feel like wearing my work shirt for a video because I don't want you creepers to know where I work. So I'm kind of in my bra right now, which is pretty cute. But so I figured like a lot of people have been kind of curious regarding my bipolar disorder and my depression. So I figured I'd do a video about that to fill you guys in. So I am totally insane. I have insane mood swings and severe depression, and some days I don't even want to get out of bed to do the photo shoots that I love doing. It's been a battle since I was a little kid, and my real father, he killed himself when I was like 3. So I guess that says something about me in a sense. I don't really know him, but a lot of people tell me we were a lot alike. So, anyways, I've been struggling with bipolar and depression for a while now. It's started when I was really little. I used to like to hide in closets and not talk to anybody, and I'm a bit antisocial. I'm not really a people person, so I come off bitchy a lot, even though I really don't mean to. It just kind of shit happens. I can't handle people. They just freak me out, and they're just not easy to trust. And because of this, I've gone through like my promiscuous phases and my alcoholic phases, and I've had a lot of shit go down in my life, which I'm not going to go into detail about that because this isn't about, a sob story of, oh, this happened, this happened, this happened, or whatever. If you really want details about that, you can always ask me in private, but there's no sense of videos on that. But basically, with my bipolar and depression, it's been a huge struggle for me, and I've never been medicated for it. I've never done counseling or seen a psychiatrist, even though I should have. I cut a lot when I was in high school, and like a lot of people say that cutting's all for attention, and people only do it because they want everyone to pay attention to them, and it's bullshit. Like some kids are like that. It's true. Like the kids who cut their wrist and like take pictures and post it online. Yeah, fuck those kids. Like seriously, because cutting's a real thing, and that's a real pain that people go through. And when I used to cut, and sometimes I've had my relapses, but it's a relief. Like you feel better about everything afterward. And it sounds stupid, but in a sense for me it's a form of natural medication similar to marijuana, where it just kind of evens you out. It gives you the time to think about it. So I've had a lot of self-destructive tendencies. When I was a kid, I used to get into cars with strangers and do just stupid ass shit that, everyone knows not to do. Like, don't take candy from strangers, and I'd run out and do it just because I didn't give a shit. I just wanted to challenge everything, and it's a pain in the ass. I've always had these, like, crazy impulse control problems where it's like, I see something hot and I want to touch it, I want to burn myself. I see something sharp and I want to test the sharpness on my skin, and it's fucked up. And it's funny because I've spent my whole life with people being like, oh, well, you're so pretty, you don't have a reason to be depressed. And it's not how it works. It's just like, if you have a lot of money, it doesn't mean you're going to be happy. Just that's what it means. Like, you're still going to deal with depression sometimes. Shit's going to happen in your life. And it's not so much the shit that happens that makes me depressed. It's really just I can't control it. Like, recently, I've been going through some severe depressions, and it's nothing I can handle really. I just kind of freak out, and I have to cry for like 2 hours to feel better about it, and it's stupid. It's like the other night I went to go visit some family, and they just were grilling me about how I wasn't in college and how it made me feel like I'm a fuck up because I don't want to go to college. I enjoy what I do. I work at a music venue as security, and I fucking love my job. I love the people I work with, and maybe it's not what I'm going to be doing for the rest of my life, but I really enjoy it. And I found what I want to do for the rest of my life. I want to model, and that's what I'm working on. I want to continue with my modeling. I'd love to model for the rest of my life. Maybe pick up some photography later on. Maybe pick up costuming, something awesome. Like I'm not good in a reasonable work environment. I can't deal with the structure of it. It's too much for me, and I get stressed out, and then I get depressed, and then I just want to off myself. And apparently my family thinks that's a bit better than, not going to college, which I never know what to go to college for anyway. I'm just kind of an idiot. Like, I guess I can be really smart if I want to be. And it's not that I don't enjoy learning. I'd love to go for a literature degree or something, but it's where's that money come from? You know, it's like, yeah, you can take out a loan, but you pay that shit back later. And it's like, oh, there's grants, there's all these things that can help you out. And what if you can't get those? Like, not everyone can get those. The government doesn't just hand you free money. And then you have to consider the fact that that's time you have to take off of work. I mean, this isn't really about my disliking college. I have nothing wrong with it. It's just, you know, I've picked a very alternative route on how I want to go about living my life, and my family has their disapprovals about that, and it's frustrating. And so, you know, after dealing with my family, I kind of had a breakdown and cried for like 2 hours about just how fucking frustrating it was. Like, you know, I feel like I'm the only one in my family who's not a fuck up, and somehow I still managed to be made out the fuck up because I'm the one with the tattoos and the hair coloring and the not so normal job, the normal way of being. I didn't run off and join the military. You know, I just worked, and that's all I've done. Is I'm used to working. I enjoy working. That's just kind of how I like to live my life. And maybe someday I'll go to school for wildlife rehabilitation, but there's no money in that. It would be purely just because I love animals. And you know, I'm doing decent. I'm in a good relationship for once, and you know, a lot of my family doesn't really know what's going on in my life. My mom does, and you know, she told me flat out that she'd rather me not go to college anyways because it's a waste of time for me, and it is. Like, you know, that's been a big influence of my bipolar and my depression is just unacceptance amongst my family. I've always been kind of the outcast, so it's frustrating. It's really hard to deal with sometimes because I don't live the normal life, you know. So a lot of my bipolar and depression has just been chaotic. I mean, I have the worst mania. I'm just, you know, one minute, like earlier tonight, I was just so crazy hyper, and I didn't have a reason for it. I was just so insanely hyper. And then I started feeling like I was gonna cry again, and I didn't have nothing changed, like nothing influenced that. I just felt terrible all of a sudden. But then I started feeling good again, and I started getting hyper. And then I got exhausted, and then I got hyper again. And it's just these manic episodes are just bizarre for me. I'm used to them, but it's so frustrating. And you know, I've been in all these relationships where I was told that it's not okay to be like it's not okay to be depressed. You can't be depressed unless there's a reason. And there's a lot of difficulty with me understanding. I didn't want to get help. I didn't want to get drugs. I actually had a guy who I dated for 4 years, and he told me if I medicated myself for my depression that he'd break up with me because he said it'd make me into a zombie. And you know, in a sense, I see where that's coming from, but he also didn't realize my suffering. He was some golden child with a perfect life where all he did was play video games all day, and mommy and daddy did everything for him, and it was so frustrating for me to just try and deal with that. And it's, you know, I ended up going through this promiscuous like psycho phase after him, and kind of during him, to be honest, and I just didn't know what to do with myself. I wanted attention. He wouldn't give it to me, and I lost my mind for a while. And it's been that way a lot in my life. Like, I just kind of go through these phases where I can't handle whoever I'm around, and I just break down and abandon everyone. I have a tendency to just stop talking to friends and ramble about stupid stuff that doesn't have anything to do with the video I'm trying to make. But basically, you know, I guess it's kind of hard to explain it, and I'm trying to level with you guys here because I know I've mentioned it before, and a lot of you have shown interest and, you know, messaged me and said that you're there if I need to talk to anyone. I really appreciate that. I don't talk to anybody, you know. I started seeing a psychologist the other day, and this guy is just, his name is Dr. Fred. First of all, Dr. Fred. And I don't know if you guys have ever seen Girl Interrupted, but he kind of reminds me of the doctor from there. And he's just, it's just ridiculous. Like, you know, I was talking to him, and I was like going on about how I can't sleep. I've got insomnia. I can't relax. I have such bad sleep anxiety. When I try and lay down, I feel stabbing pains all over my body, and then I start itching everywhere, and my mind races, and I'm like, what should I be doing right now? I should be doing something. There should be something going on. So I just panic. And so I'm telling him this, and then he was like, well, it seems like you need to rest your mind before you go to bed. And I was just like, I need to rest my mind before I go to bed? And he's like, yeah, you know, I like to lay down about an hour before bed and try and sleep. And not do anything, not watch TV or anything. It's like, Okay, well, I do that. And you know what? I still can't sleep because I have nightmares and sleep anxiety, and I'm still itching and going crazy and scratching myself all over. Or my hair's doing something. I'm just freaking out every night. So I was telling him, I was like, I might need sleeping pills. I might need something for my anxiety. And he's like, well, I think we could deal with this in many different ways. And he starts just talking about stupid shit, and I really stopped paying attention. It's like, the first like 2 sessions, really, it was just he'd stare at me and he'd be like, so, what's new in your life? It's like, well, I'm crazy. Like, what do you want? What do you want me to say? So, like, he wouldn't ask me questions. He didn't, like, he asked me questions the first session. That's it. Like, the first session he asked me the series of questions that she was obviously just reading off some fucking, like, online personality test bullshit or something. And, like, then from there, it was just him staring at me. And, like, every time I'd say something, he'd go, well, you're very smart. And then he'd stop. And he'd just stare at me. And then I wouldn't say anything. So he just still. It was just so awkward because there's this like guy just staring at me. And it's just like, you got this typical fucking name, Dr. Fred, and you can't help me. And I know you can't help me. I know you're just like an idiot who doesn't really give a shit. But it's like, he's just staring at me. And that's all he does. And it's just like, what the fuck are you talking about? So, but I have to see him in order to see the psychiatrist who will actually prescribe me pills to level myself out, which I guess I kind of skipped over everything where it's like, I started dating a guy who kind of understands the whole depression thing, so he's like, yeah, well, you might need some counseling, and he convinced me to, really go for it, and I'm really grateful for that, because I think pills probably will help, it'd be nice to not, like, have random panic attacks over stupid shit. Like, I've woken up crying over nightmares because I thought they were real, and they were so realistic that I, like, wake up and I can't breathe, and I'm just panicking and freaking the fuck out, and, like, one day I missed a cleaning day at work, and, like, I didn't get the email about it, and I got a message from my manager afterward, and he was like, hey, where were you? And, like, I wasn't even in trouble. He wasn't even mad. My manager's cool as shit. He's one of my good friends, and I love him to death. And, like, just the fact that I felt like I disappointed someone, gave me this, like, immense panic attack, and I started sobbing, and I just felt so terrible. And it was just, like, he was like, oh, no big deal. Whatever. Like, and that's what it is. And it's just, like, I just go crazy and lose my shit over the dumbest thing possible. And it's like, back to my psychologist, he's just stupid. Like, he just doesn't get it. And I feel like I'm smarter than him. That makes it worse. It's like, wow, you're supposed to be helping me figure out my feelings, and you're too busy staring at me. Like, oh, like he's the typical, like, how does that make you feel kind of person. And it's just like, well, I'm coming to you telling you I want to kill myself. I'm suicidal 90% of the time. I wake up in the morning and battle with myself every morning. Like, should I bother getting out of bed? Do I feel like getting out of bed? Because depression isn't just oh, shit happened today. I stepped in dog shit, my fucking heel broke. Like, it's not that shit. It's, wow, what's the point? Why bother getting out of bed? Why bother cleaning the house? I need to pet my cat, and I need to scoop the litter box and take my dogs out, but I could just lay in bed and cry. That's what it is. Like, a lot of people haven't experienced real depression, and I'm so glad that people haven't gone through that. And the people who have, I feel you. I really do, because it's painful. You just, you get all these, like, weird quirks where you're just scratching at yourself, or I like to pull my hair, or I'll, like, grab my nails and just drag them across my face when I'm feeling overly frustrated, and it's bizarre. And, like, we expect good mental health out there. You expect someone to be able to help you, and I have health insurance, and the greatest guy I could get is Dr. Fred. He just fucking stares at me like, cool, man, whatever, thanks, Oh, thanks, I'm glad you just told me that information I just told you. Like, I was talking about him, like, I have severe jealousy and mistrust issues, and I used to not have them, but, I dated several guys who've cheated on me and lied to me and were just total fucking assholes, or led me along and weren't worth my time. It's like, I fucking loved them, and it was so difficult when I was like, wow, I was just some bullshit game. I didn't fucking matter to these people. I never mattered. And that was such an intense feeling that it's like, now I just I have trouble being in a relationship and feeling like I matter. Now it's just like, I don't matter. I don't matter at all. I'm just, oh, whatever, you know. I'm here until the next girl comes along. That's what it feels like. And I was trying to explain this to Dr. Fred. I was trying to say, hey, you know, for no reason at all, I'll accuse my boyfriend of cheating, even though I know he's studying at school. Even though nothing went on. Like, I'll just break out in panic and assume. Like, I just assume, like, oh, a girl talked to you? Oh, you must want her more than me. Like, just stupid shit. And I know it's stupid, and I know I'm overreacting. So, I bring it up to my psychologist, hoping that he'll be able to, you know, kind of level me out and be like, well, you know, you need to do this process to rethink those thoughts, which I've been trying to deal with the different processes by myself. But instead of being like, well, you know, you have to understand that you're making things up in your own head, because I do. Like, I make up scenarios. Like, just make up shit that's happening even though it's not, and I know it's not happening. Like, I honestly make up shit that my friends are conspiring against me over, like, the littlest shit, and they wonder why I don't talk to them, but it's because I'm too busy making up theories. Like, oh, they didn't invite me along, and instead of thinking, well, I don't really go out much, and being like, well, maybe they were just doing something, it's like, oh, they all hate me. Everyone hates me. Oh my god, I've lost everybody. My life sucks. And it's like, just stupid, outrageous things. So, Dr. Fred decided to tell me, well, if you're feeling these things, then there's probably a reason for it, and you should probably look into it, because maybe your boyfriend is cheating on you. That's not really the best thing to tell a psycho. And it's not the best thing to tell someone who's telling you how you're making shit up. Like, oh, cool. Thanks, man. So I'm not making shit up. Let me go run out and stab my boyfriend because, you know, apparently he's cheating in my mind. Like, and this guy's like telling me it's like, listen to your intuition. Listen to this. Listen to what you're thinking. And I understand the listen to your intuition bullshit, but it's like, okay, so I'm telling you a problem, and I know it's a problem. I know that I'm making shit up. And you, sir, the psychologist, are sitting here like, oh, well, yeah, I think you're going the right direction being a total nutcase. I think you should scream at people more often over things that don't exist. While you're at it, why don't you yell at those purple elephants over there on the wall, because I'm sure they'd enjoy it. Okay, like, what are you talking about? It's like, so I was seeing him like once a week, and it was $30 a week, which isn't too bad to see a psychologist, but it's just like, it's $30 a week to talk to this guy who, well, more so he stares at me and then it's like, oh no, everything you're feeling is totally legit. You should totally be feeling like you should kill yourself. This is cool. This is a good idea. You should bring me more money. Like, right, dude, whatever. But anyway, my birthday's on the 21st, and I see a psychiatrist the day after, and hopefully the psychiatrist won't, like, give me his bullshit. He'll just be like, here's some drugs, you know, you're crazy. Here's something to level you out so you'll stop crying and wanting to kill yourself all the time. You know, that's what I'm hoping for. But anyways, like, you know, with my bipolar, I'm kind of making this video as a way for other people to really understand how it is, and I don't think it's working very well because I'm kind of stupid and I can't really word things properly, but no one understands you. Like, no one fucking gets what you're talking about unless they're bipolar. So you're just like sitting here talking to normal people, and they're like, why are you crying? And you're like, because I'm sad. And like, what are you sad about? Nothing. I'm not sad about anything. I'm just sad. I just feel awful, and there's nothing you can do about it. You just want to lay in bed, and sometimes I hide under the covers, or I just snuggle with my dog and cry into her fur. I do that quite a lot. She probably hates me for that. It's probably not her favorite thing. But, you know, it's funny the way people react. Like, yeah, I know it's a mental illness, and I know it's hard to deal with, but people really go about it the wrong way. Like, they don't understand at all, and I don't think it's anything to be ashamed of. I mean, there's a lot of amazing people who are total nutcases, and they're just like, they're so awesome. So like, that's what I look to. It's like, look at fucking Emily Autumn, you know. A lot of people don't know who she is, and if you don't, you should look her up. But she's this amazing musician. I've been reading her book, which I've mentioned a few times. It's called The Asylum for Wayward Victorian Girls, and it's kind of her account of the whole bipolar thing and being in an asylum and everything, which I haven't had to be an inpatient yet, and I'm glad so far. But you know, my mom got committed when she was 25, so I've got still about 2 years and 5 days to go until that's that's really necessary, I guess. But I've had a lot of people in my family who were inpatient, and it was really interesting hearing her account of it because she was just talking about how miserable it made her feel and how like it felt like no one understood her, and how the cutting helped and how writing helps, and that's how it was with me my whole life. It's just I have like seriously, I probably have like 70 something notebooks full from like starting from the sixth grade, seventh grade, something like that is when I started keeping notebooks. And I have like a shit ton of them just full of just crazy lyrics. Like, shit's nuts. Like, I wish I had one. I, I have one nearby and I can actually read you something, which you can't laugh at me because it's not very good. But if you guys really want to know how, like, the extent of my mind, it's just like I wake up in a cage and I smell the rotting flesh. I wake up in a cage and I see the bloody mess. And I'm feeling all the strain and it's making me upset. I'm still not getting sane and I can't shake the distress. My lungs are closing up and I cannot fucking breathe. I feel the claustrophobia and you still won't let me leave. I hate the way it feels and I only live to breed. I'm living past my prime and I'm much too weak to feed. The bleeders all have their leeches. The leeches all have me. My blood is just as fresh as a nice hot cup of tea. I wake up in a cage and I know that I'm a mess. I look around and see that the smell is my own flesh. I feel the spread of the infection and I feel like I should die, prepared for the dissection and I'm much too numb to cry. I feel the thrill of death and it's leaking out my veins. I feel the threat of safety, but I only want the pain. They stitch up my broken sores and they send me back to bed. I push the pin straight in and I calmly wait for death. That was my most recent writing, which you probably couldn't hear because I was stumbling over my words. I haven't gone over it enough to memorize it, but there's a look into my mind. It's not pretty at all, and it's funny because my whole career choice is to portray someone beautiful and amazing and someone that other girls want to be, and in reality, I'm not someone anyone would want to be. I'm so depressed and miserable all the time, and it's crazy, but I mean, this is probably the most real I've ever gotten in a video, but to really fully explain me, I have to explain my disorders, and so I thought it was time that I opened up and let you guys know a little bit more about my brain, so you'd actually understand that I'm not just some pretty girl. And with all the girls who message me saying, I wish I could do what you do, and I want to be like you. It's like you're beautiful and you can be a model. You can do what you want. You can follow your dreams and like just do it. And that's why I really try and push girls to do it. Like, when girls message me like, "Oh, I can never get in front of a camera." Like, I'm the most self-conscious person you'll ever meet. But in front of a camera, I can display a fuck ton of confidence and I can pretend I have confidence all day long and that's it. And you don't have to be like somebody. You want to be like you because you don't know those demons that the person deals with every single fucking day. You're beautiful in your own way. You don't need my disorders to feel pretty. My creativity comes from my depression, to be honest with you. That's where it all stems from. That's where a lot of people stem from, Okay, Kurt Cobain, Courtney Love, Marilyn Monroe was severely depressed. It's just all these people have dealt with depression. Amanda Palmer and Emily Autumn are two of my favorite women, and they both, they've dealt with depression, they've dealt with bullying, and just really shitty lives, and, they made something out of themselves. So I would like more people to feel like they can make something out of themselves despite their illnesses or despite their insecurities, So that's why I figured I'd open up a bit and let you guys know what I'm dealing with and the insanity that goes through my brain, so you don't think, oh, she's got it so easy. She's just this pretty girl who gets in front of a camera and then people like her. It's, nobody likes me in real life. I have very few close friends, and it's difficult. And, I can be social when I want to be, but usually it requires alcohol or some type of drug, and, that's not healthy. That's not a good way to be, but I express myself through my modeling and my writing, and that's it. So there's a bit of, I don't know really how to say it, but there is a brief spell of my inner self, and now you guys know a bit more about me, probably more than you wanted to know. Let's see how many unfollowers I get now from being truthful. Like, Ooh, this bitch ain't pretty. She's nuts. I don't want to be her friend anymore. But thank God I'm pretty. Otherwise, I'd just be a big bundle of crazy, right? Well, thanks for watching this super fucking long video so you guys could get to know me a little bit more and know a little about my inner demons. And hopefully you guys don't all think I'm a total, well, you guys know I'm a total psycho now, so hopefully you guys don't hate me now. But yep, there you go. If you guys have anything else you want to know about me, obviously I'm pretty honest, so just send me your request via Facebook or Twitter or Tumblr or whatever, and I can make a video for you or answer it in a video or whatever. So see you guys later.